Hey, it's me, Jerry Washington, the General. I am here to tell you a secret. This is a secret on how we train here at General Fitness Company. We're going to be talking about unilateral and bilateral training, functional training overall. We're going to be talking about anti-rotational, rotational training. We have a lot packed in this video. So I encourage you to grab a pencil. Don't forget to click that like button and, of course, subscribe. I'll see you on the other side. All right, so today we're going to be talking about functional training as it pertains to how we apply it to our training methods here at General Fitness Company. Now, when we're talking about functional training, we're actually talking about unilateral training, at least as we pertain it to how we train here at General Fitness Company. Now, of course, there's two different types of training. We've talked about this before. There's unilateral training as well as bilateral training. The difference between that is that bilateral training is going to be training both sides of your body. If you were to split your body down the middle, it's training both sides of your body at the same time, simultaneously. So exercises like squats, bench press, or push-ups, those are bilateral exercises. So as opposed to, as I mentioned earlier, unilateral training, which is exercises that are going to train one side at a time. Again, split that body down the middle. You're going to be training one side, and the other side is going to be doing something slightly different. So exercises like lunging, sprinting, and any exercise essentially that has you moving one arm or one leg at a time is going to be a unilateral exercise. Now, why unilateral exercises? What's the importance of that? Well, I'm going to address that by going back to bilateral training. Now, bilateral training, those are great exercises. A lot of people swear by them. Like exercises like bench press, squat, deadlift. These are all exercises that you might see in Olympic lifting as well as other arenas. But the reason why we don't really, we tend to not do those here is because a lot of people come here with limitations or they want to move more efficiently and effectively. Now, the reason why they want to move more efficiently and effectively, that can vary. But for you, it might be that you have a trauma, you have an injury, you might have something that you were born with that just prevents you from doing other things that you'd like to do. So what we do here is we work unilaterally. And as I said, that's different from bilateral training because when you're training bilaterally, because you're using two legs or two arms, if you have any of these aforementioned inefficiencies in your movements, then those are going to be exacerbated by those movements. Say, for instance, you have a not so great right shoulder, right? A lot of people have that, especially in this day and age where we're sitting on the computer on our mouses and our shoulders rotated forward. People have that issue. So if you're bench pressing or doing push-ups and you have a weakened right shoulder, then you're going to be overcompensating with your left shoulder as well as other components of your movement down below the chain. So if you have a funky right shoulder, so to speak, you might end up messing up your hip, or maybe you might have something where your scapula starts to splay out, meaning that's your shoulder blade, or any other anomalies that might end up happening because you didn't really address the issue. Now, you're going to get stronger, don't get me wrong. You're going to get bigger muscles. As I said, you're going to be able to move your body with two limbs instead of one. So you're going to be able to execute more movements. You're going to be able to do more weight, I should say. But that's not going to really help you in the long run, as I said, because of the fact that if you have a limitation, your body's going to overcompensate, and eventually you're going to end up with an injury somewhere down the line. So that's why we execute on unilateral training here. We specifically address those issues and those limitations that might prevent somebody from executing any movement to full range of motion. So if we drill down even further and we're thinking about this functional training, unilateral training, we also think about rotational and anti-rotational training. Now, this goes by many names, but here we call it anti-rotational and rotational because we keep it simple here. But that's essentially thinking about how the body moves. Now, again, if you think about how the body moves when you're walking, or you're running, you're sprinting, or pretty much doing anything to traverse through the planet, you're going to be rotating through your hips, rotating through your ankles, rotating through your shoulders and your knees. Essentially, every joint is going to be rotating in some way or another. So we want to be able to rotate efficiently as well as counteract that rotation, your body's propensity to rotate, and you want to also be able to stabilize. So we do exercises that are going to be doing a lot of twisting of the torso, exercises that try to maintain a straightness of your torso or try to keep your torso stable while you're moving your hips and vice versa. So essentially that's creating that awareness so that your body can rotate and prevent rotation where it's not supposed to be rotating. So that covers unilateral training with the other element of rotational, anti-rotational training. Now, one thing that a lot of people do mention is that they do like deadlift and they do like squatting and they do like doing these exercises because it helps them get stronger. And I did address that just a few moments ago, but just to further, to further drive my point home, when we're thinking about doing these squats and doing these deadlifts and stuff like that, again, it's a bilateral movement. If you have any kind of inefficiencies in any of your joints, you're going to be exasperating that. But also, it's just not a natural movement. Again, it's not something that we do. You don't walk around with 2 feet. You don't do anything with 2 hands at a time. Maybe drive, but I drive with one hand. But anyways, the key thing here is that you want to think about when it comes to functional training, and you can train functionally however you want. I'm just telling you how we do it here, but when it comes to functional training, you really want to think about how your body moves through space, how you're training your body to move through space, meaning, are you rotating? Are you preventing that rotation? Are you working one side at a time? Are you addressing those limitations? And are you able to do those on a consistent basis? That's what we're talking about when we're talking about functional training. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about training your body specifically the way it needs to be trained. Okay? So listen, I'm not poo-pooing bilateral training. I'm not trying to put unilateral training on a pedestal. All I'm saying is that you have to know how your body is moving. You have to think about how you want your body to move. So bilateral training can be good. We don't completely avoid it here. Bilateral training can be good, especially if you're just getting into training and just getting your body moving. But I like to think of unilateral training as something that's a little bit more advanced. So bilateral training has its benefits as well as unilateral training, and I would suggest that you put both of those into your workout routine. But obviously, have a mind of knowing that what each of these have as a benefit as well as a disadvantage. All right. So if you have any questions about unilateral training or anti-rotational training or even squats, I'd love for you to drive those comments down below, or write them down below, or type them down below. But just do me a favor. I would love for you to just make sure that these comments you putting are thoughtful and positive. And of course, I would love to create a thoughtful discourse in the comment section. I'd hate to just be people bashing squats or people saying that whatever training method is better than another. I'd definitely love to have you speaking from either from experience or at least from a thoughtful point of view. And of course, I would love for you to continue watching these videos. So if you click on that subscribe button down below, you'll be notified when our next video comes out. All right. I really do appreciate you watching. Hopefully this brought you value. And of course, as always, keep good company. Thanks for watching.
Wow! I like it. That was cool.
Awesome. Hey, thanks.